What's good, y'all? It is Monday, February 16th. My name is Patrick, and you are tuned into The Morning Show. What's good, y'all? I am repeating myself already, and I am just popping in because, first off, The Morning Show is not back. This is just kind of like a one-off thing, and these things might happen from time to time because, as I have learned in my life and as a few people know about me, I process best when I can pick up a microphone and just sit and record. If you're joining me from YouTube, then you are seeing some video that I am adding to this because I am also working on getting better at being a videographer and a photographer. And by getting better, I mean becoming even remotely competent at that. So you're probably going to see some more stuff from a quote unquote content perspective from me here in the foreseeable future. And hopefully, like my previous forays into photography and just basically any hobby in general outside of podcasting, I pointed at this. Um, Hopefully, this sticks and I stick with it. That's something that I have struggled with. And speaking of struggling with things, the reason I wanted to hop on here and chat today and had a few minutes to do so is because I just personally feel like I have been struggling with a lot of things, as many people have been. And for whatever reason, it just feels like the catharsis that I am seeking when I have been struggling has generally been from when can I get on the microphone and talk. I know that I'm talking to all of you out there, listeners or viewers who have been with me on this journey for the past 5 years, 5.5 years now. But over the last year, as I have tried to consolidate conversations to not produce so much and allow myself to choose opportunities that are both passionate things that I'm passionate about and are things that will sustain me and my family. Um, I still am craving this outlet of being able to just share. And so here I am. Um, and here I am talking about something I think I just talked about in the episode that dropped last week, episode 15, 16. I don't remember. But the conversation that I had last week was just about what I've been struggling with. One of those things is the persistent, pervasive, horrific things that are happening because of immigration enforcement, specifically in Minneapolis, in Chicago, in Maine, truly all over the country. I've also really just been struggling recently with just being able to properly regulate my emotions, specifically my anger, my frustration, and my sadness. And I think what I have really been struggling with has been not being able to, again, properly regulate myself in those times of feeling like extra sad, extra angry, extra frustrated, and instead like giving into those things, but in a way that is not productive. In a way that's really been like detrimental to things not only inside of me, but just in things that around my life. And I guess I just wanted to hop on here and talk about this really quickly because I feel like at the start of the year, which was only a month and a half ago, really like dug a trench in the sand and told myself, I am going to work on letting go of these things that don't serve me. And some of those things are specifically the anger and the frustration. Again, the world has not helped with the letting go of that. And I have not done, I think, the things that I need to, or not continue to do the things that I need to make sure that I'm not sitting in echo chambers on social media. I'm not endlessly scrolling on social media or YouTube or places where I gather or learn about stuff. I have not been as present in relationships or in other places as I probably can be or need to be, because when something frustrates me or makes me angry or is making me sad, those things have started to take over my being. And I feel like what I haven't really been doing a good job of is naming that. And then not only naming it, but like following through on the actions that I can take to, I guess, more appropriately regulate myself in those times. So, yeah, that's what I'm struggling with. And I'm struggling right now a little bit. And it sucks. Um, I will say that one, I understand that my struggle is still valid within the spectrum of struggle that is happening throughout the world and by people more impacted by the terrible things that are happening to me. And I also recognize that it is on that spectrum the what I would consider the lower end of the impact or being impacted. And I don't want to say that gives me hope, but it puts things in perspective for me in the sense that I understand that there is a lot that is happening and people every individual is going through a lot, myself included. And if I can just understand that within the larger community of people who are suffering right now or have suffered historically in this country, that helps. So I'm going to keep trying to do that. I'm going to keep trying to keep things in perspective because that has definitely been extremely helpful for me. And I'm also going to just give myself a little bit of grace for when I am finding myself successfully navigating these emotions. Um, I guess one more thing before I go, I'll say that one of the realizations I had recently, within the last like 3 days, has been this idea around like my anger and frustration. And somebody had asked me, like, why do you think you're so angry often? Why do you think you're so often angry? I won't say all the time, but why do you think you're angry? Or why do you think that you're reactive and your reaction is to be frustrated or to be angry at whatever the situation might be or whatever the thing might be that's causing me to react in that way? And I've said this a number of times on the John Chi show for sure, on Conversation Piece for sure. I'm almost positive on the kitchen table for sure. But I don't know that I've said it in a way that like names it for myself. It's more so saying it as a point of addition to whatever conversation that I'm having. But like it really has become apparent to me recently that like I am truly, truly struggling with the idea of being adopted. And specific when I say being adopted, it's not because I was adopted. It's because at birth I was separated from my biological parents, specifically my biological mother. And because of that separation, that really foundational trauma, I'm going to call it trauma because it is trauma, I have carried, or that has like stayed with me throughout my life. And it really wasn't until I was 30 31, 32 that I even started to understand that that was something that could be affecting me. And then over the last few years from that point, realizing that, oh, not only has it been affecting me recently, but it's been affecting me for that entire period. And by leaving it unaddressed, by never having a conversation about it, by not talking about it, by internalizing and suppressing everything that that was making me feel, I personally really, really now struggle with, or not now, I really, really, I realize that I really, really have struggled with this my whole life. And that even through my therapy journey, even through open conversations like this or like the John Chi show, like it's been really hard to, now that I am aware of it, be better. It's not not about being better. It's just about I just don't want to, I don't want to feel that anymore. I don't want to feel it anymore. And the fact of the matter is like it'll never go away. And there have been times recently where I have wished that I never had the thought of what it means to be Asian or what it means to raise my kid as Asian or just to be Asian in general. Like I have thought to myself that I wish that that never happened, because in those moments it feels like my life would be easier. But I have been really lucky to have a partner who provides perspective and has told me that no, if you hadn't gone through this journey or hadn't gone on this journey that you're on currently and started to ask these questions and unpack these things, it would probably be worse off. You'd probably be worse off, because at some point it's going to come up. And I've learned that through conversations with other adopted people, with other adoptees, is like at a certain point, that stuff is going to affect you. At a certain point, it is going to disrupt your life, and you can either continue to suppress it or you can open yourself up to it and hopefully find a way to, if not understand it, at least be aware of why this might be happening. So I'm struggling. It's fine. That's one of my coping mechanisms. Just saying that it's fine. It's not fine, but I think eventually I'll be fine. So yeah, just checking in, just letting you know how I'm doing, where I'm at, and also let you know that we'll be back next week with an episode, conversation with Senator Andrea Hundley. Super excited about that, and then we'll have another conversation the next week that I'm really excited about as well. But yeah, until then, I've been Patrick Armstrong. I really appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.